Hey guys, this is Noob5678Craft here. So today my video will be a little bit special because I'm going to be introducing the replay mod in some of my videos. So now I have installed the replay mod and obviously I'm going to use it to make like some time-lapse build montages that I'm going to be making I'm going to be putting at the start of my videos. So yeah, appreciate it and thank you for watching. Okay, so now that we're back from the uh, time lapse. So basically, this was the area that I built using that I built in the time lapse. I'm gonna show you guys real quick. The time lapse doesn't do a great job of showing the end product, but basically, I'm gonna talk about a little bit about like the area that I built. So before this, before the time lapse, basically this entire part wasn't built. I basically I did like stop about here, and a lot of the part underneath also wasn't built yet. So wow, that's a crash. It happens a lot. Okay, so now that we're back from the crash, um, yeah, a little bit on why I crashed. So basically because my computer runs on integrated graphics. So whenever someone else is near to me, so just now that was my friend Blocks. Just now he was right here. So when people are like next to me on this server, I tend to crash. It's about maybe 80% of the time. So it's pretty likely that I will crash if someone's next to me. But back to what I was building in the time lapse. So basically over here you can see that I obviously built like these areas, and especially on that side, I built this. I built up the interior of this entire like kind of width of the stadium part. Um, but yeah, apart from like the area on the outside over there that's visible from the 5th floor, I also built this area, this window that's visible from the 4th floor. So this makes like a really interesting vibe because you can have like the people on the 5th floor looking directly down to the 4th floor, and then adding with in addition with these pillars, these sloping pillars, it really gives a very open feel to it to in the stadium. So over here I can add some railings. It's really interesting how these railings work because I'm building them using jungle fence gates. Our texture pack retextures the jungle fence gates to look like that. If you don't know that we use a pack, or if you haven't seen my previous video, you can go check it out on my channel. It's my first actual Minecraft video, so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, basically I built this interior part, and I want to make the bottom more accessible as well, so I'm planning where my staircases will go. I think it's a good place to put like my staircases, maybe about like right here. I could make one staircase going down like that, and I could make my escalator still going down like that. So this can make place for more rooms, maybe a cafe or something. And same for like this space. This space could probably have like a stand, maybe for coffee, maybe for like drinks or snacks. And over here, I went over these very briefly last video, but I have like admin rooms that I'm leaving open for. I think these admin rooms could serve as a good place to like house some staff of the stadium. So could have some offices. It's quite a close space, a little bit claustrophobic, but I think it could be used. Not too sure about that though. As for some of the more general stadium updates, I have basically made quite little progress compared to like what you saw last video, because last video was my first video, so obviously I can do a lot of stuff during that video, but this video I'm much more constricted in terms of the content that I can make. But I just want to talk about this slope over here because it's not as simple as the other slope on the top of the roof on the length side. This is the width side of the stadium, right? So obviously the slopes of these like stands would be different because I'm using a very simple concept that I had to learn the hard way. So when you see the first, second, and third here, you see that there are different slopes actually. So this one, I'm building it 3 by 3. So we'll take a look at some of these staircases. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this one is 3 and then 2. So you can see 3 over here and then 2, 3 and then 2, 3 and then 2 and then 3. Okay. And then this one is just 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. So when building like we're building a slope like this, it's really straightforward and really easy because it's just constant 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 because it's just one full block and one slab, right? But when building a roof like that on the other side, it's slightly more complicated because of the fact that it's 3 and 2 and 3 and 2 because I'm building it on the bottom of the second tier. So yeah, it's 3 and 2, and I have to add this trapdoor over here, which looks a bit weird, but I think it's pulled off okay. Yeah, you can see that this difference is very small, and so it makes it look kind of weird. I like how even the trapdoor is, but at the same time, it's like it's even in terms of like that, but then like in terms of height, it's very uneven, and it just gives like the impression that it's like basically nothing. So I want to explain why I have to build the slopes like that. So when you're in a stadium and it's all the same height, right? I'm just gonna get out first. When all the stands are all the same slope, then you have some problems. So I'm gonna just make a little model here. So let's say that we're building it like that, right? So let's say we use a 2 slope for everything. and we want the side of the field to be right here. Okay, just like that. So I should make it a bit further out. Okay, so assuming that you can stand here and see it, right? You can still see that line. If you continue to build on the same slope, but you elevate it, you will find it quite hard to see that line, and you just keep building like that, right? You find it harder and harder to see that line. So when I'm standing here, I can't see that line already. But if I vary up the slope and make it like this, so this was a slope that I used on one of my more compact stadiums. Okay, so then you find no trouble seeing that thing, even if you're standing on the top. See, it's right there. It's very clear. So this concept is used in a lot of stadiums because it's very useful for making this. And how you're going to determine your slope for like a stadium interior, you have to see where you want to align it with. So for example, over here, right, I got this thing. I want to see this. So you have to line it up with your line of vision. So as long as it doesn't obstruct anything, you'll be able to see it pretty clearly from there. So you see, when I'm building it up, doesn't even touch. It's underneath that. If it goes above that line, it means that you won't be able to see it. And because your like line of vision is not exactly like on here, but it's rather like about 2 blocks up, so it's good to at least keep a bit of safe space like that. So if you see my stadium, you'll see that I actually laid out these lines beforehand, and now because it's in a very advanced stage, so you wouldn't see that those lines, but basically that's how I made my stands. And I'm not sure if I even want to like do it, but should I do it? I'll just do it. Okay, so if I'm using the curve on top, and then here's the same curve, here's the same slope, right? So you can see that obviously I made it like much lower than like this line, and so because of this, so you get like full view. You can see it's very clear. I can see that line very, very clearly, and my view is not obstructed in any way. So same for here, because these were built using circles, so it's pretty similar. So yeah, I can see the whole field from there all the way to there, all the way to there. Yeah. Yeah, so this was a little stadium update on the interior, as well as like why I made the choices I did, and as well as like getting into stadium slopes. This was a bit of an unplanned video, I guess you could say, especially the stadium slopes part. I didn't expect to have to talk about that, but it ended up being applicable, so I just did that. And yeah, for future stadium updates, if you want to keep on being updated like this, then subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, you could like it. It helps to boost my video. And yeah, thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Before you go, I have 2 really important things to say. Number 1, I finally got Builder 3. You can see that's 3 blue bars beside my B. And number 2, all these purple pink blocks, yellow, everything, these are for texturing. So if you're wondering why they're here, it's because I'm gonna randomize them later. So they're gonna be a randomized texture, maybe like some of these grays or some of these blues or whatever. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Bye bye.